Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. We've got some scary sounding news surrounding XRP, as well as some good sounding news surrounding XRP, so let's start with the bad so that we can end the video on a positive note. Here's a headline from Yahoo Finance. Grayscale Investments begins dissolution of XRP trust, citing Ripple SEC suit. And so indeed, Grayscale, the world's largest cryptocurrency hedge fund, has liquidated all of its XRP holdings, announced January 13th. So this was kind of fascinating, given that at the very tail end of 2020, after all the scary news hit about the SEC going after Ripple, all sorts of cryptocurrency exchanges either delisting or halting trading of XRP, there was a purchase by Grayscale of over 12 million XRP. So what happened? Why the huge purchase? And then you look just a couple weeks later, like, yep, we're out. I'll be diving into that for you. And I will say this, despite the scary sounding news, the markets seem to not care. So what's the positive news? And again, this is what I'll wrap the video up with. Japan's FSA says XRP not a security. And so here you go again, the United States completely out of sync with the rest of the world. So I tell you what, if I were in court, and I'm not a lawyer, but I don't have a law background of any kind, but if I were, based on all the information that I've seen lately and everything that I've learned over the last few years being in the XRP community and being a holder of XRP, I would not want to be in the position of having to argue from the SEC. If I were a lawyer with the SEC, I would not want to have the unenviable task of trying to convince a judge and jury that XRP is a security. Now, I do want to be clear that I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and so you should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I just think it's interesting and fun to talk about these topics as an enthusiast, and I run this YouTube channel purely as a fun hobby. That is all that it is. Now, as I record this, XRP is at 29.6 cents. Bitcoin is at $38,379. And so XRP, look, I've been saying this for a while. I want to make the point again. All the people that wanted to get out of XRP because of the scary sounding news, pretty much all of them are gone. There may be some more if it pumps up to a certain degree. We're like, okay, I've now recouped what I initially put in. You could have a little bit of that, but by and large, the scary sounding stories not any longer affecting the price of XRP. I don't even know what type of new unforeseen scary story would have to come out where it's so detrimental that you'd see another panic. So I can't even imagine what that is, because the worst news that I could have imagined, it already happened. The SEC going after Ripple. And so outside of XRP actually being declared a security, but we're nowhere near that. Because that would have to go through courts and all that and adjudication, but so as a result, it's just kind of fascinating to note that XRP is, as I record this, just moving in tandem with the rest of the market. As I record this, it's number 4 in market cap still, despite the massive price pullback after the news broke on December 21st or 22nd, whatever date that was. And so here you can see, here's a piece from January 2nd from Crypto News Flash, highlighting that Grayscale bought biggest XRP amount in history. Well, how about that? The asset management firm Grayscale has become a benchmark for institutional interest in cryptocurrencies. In 2020, Grayscale was Bitcoin's most aggressive buyer, celebrating a year-end with $20 billion in assets under management for the first time. And if you go a little bit further here, you can see data from Crypto Whale shows... Oh yeah, that's right. I don't really want to get into this either, but there was some misreporting of Grayscale previously, like a couple weeks ago, having liquidated all of their XRP, and at that point it was not true. They had only liquidated a portion of their XRP that was not in the XRP trust. It was in their digital large cap fund. And so I talked about that. So they still had most of their XRP until this happened anyway. But anyway, according to Crypto Whale, they're just monitoring the transactions on the public ledger. The institution had made its biggest XRP purchase in history, buying 12.48 million XRP on New Year's Eve. And so that's fascinating to me, because the XRP trust, as a result of what happened with the charges of SEC against Ripple, not surprisingly, they ended up suspending the XRP trust. And so there was no word at that time that it was going to be dissolved, and so their accredited investors ended up purchasing a ton, resulting in Grayscale purchasing a bunch of the trust, resulting in Grayscale purchasing a ton of XRP. And there's an individual who I will not name because I don't have permission to, who I talk with, who is in the XRP community, who has friends at Grayscale, and he talked to them about this, and he made it pretty clear that Grayscale's position, at least in the time internally, what they decided to do was just obviously suspend the XRP trust, so you couldn't purchase into it. Then with the expectation that once this is all settled, XRP would be added back to the large cap fund, and then the XRP trust, purchases could resume at that point. But there was no plan at the time, and this is as recently as the last week or so. There was no plan at that time, from what I've been told through the grapevine. So take it with a grain of salt. But there was no plan at that time, even as recently as a week or so ago, to dissolve the trust and liquidate everything. And so what happened? Well, let's jump into the piece and get into the specifics here. Grayscale Investments, the world's largest digital currency asset manager, announced it has begun dissolution of its Grayscale XRP trust following the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's lawsuit against Ripple Labs, alleging the XRP token is a security under federal securities law. And here's Grayscale's official website. I'm on the Grayscale XRP trust, and you can see this notification when you click on this. On January 13th, 2021, Grayscale XRP Trust announced that it has commenced dissolution and liquidated its assets. All right, and then moving on to this. So cash proceeds from the trust's liquidated XRP will be distributed to shareholders, Grayscale said, without providing estimates on the proceeds. January 8th, SEC filings indicate the XRP trust raised $19.2 million from 70 investors over its nearly 3-year run. It was not clear how much the fund was worth at liquidation. And so that's interesting in and of itself. Only 70 humans, 70 investors invested into the XRP trust, and that resulted in $19.2 million being thrown into it. So it just gives you the understanding of these accredited investors, because just everyday Joe Schmo can't jump into this thing even before it was dissolved. It just gives you an idea of the accredited investors, how much money they have, and throwing it into this. And so they clearly had confidence. They saw XRP as a buy. Despite the fact that this is now dissolved, these accredited investors saw XRP as an opportunity, which is why they purchased what they purchased at the tail end of 2020. And in fact, in looking at the price of XRP, you can see back when the scary news hit, XRP price dumped down to where was it at? I can't remember exactly. I guess it got down to as low as I think it got down to 17 cents or so. And so from there, they ended up purchasing, I'm looking for the end of the year now. Sorry, one sec here. 29th, so where's the 31st? I'm trying to scale across here. Shorten the time frame. Yeah, so they purchased it at 21.6 cents. Think about that. It was where XRP was worth 21.6 cents, and as I record this, it's just shy of 30 cents. So I don't know exactly when they liquidated it, but they could have made a profit over that short period of time of like 50% or so. So they made out doing this, but I don't know that they look. Accredited investors and institutional money, they have a long-term mindset, and so given what I had heard through the grapevine, I don't think that they were trying to make a short-term gain. I think that we're just in a very liquid environment here in terms of news development and decisions being made, and so it seems that they just changed their mind, and they do kind of explain why. So check this out. Grayscale blamed the move on the SEC's December 2020 suit against XRP's issuer Ripple Labs. Ripple's actually not the issuer, but I don't want to get into that. Which has banked $1.3 billion in token sales since 2013. That lawsuit has created a hostile market environment for XRP. It is likely to be increasingly difficult for U.S. investors, including the trust, to convert XRP into US dollars, and therefore continue the trust operations, Grayscale said. And so again, they after continuing to analyze this, they're worried that the investments from their investors, if it becomes increasingly impossible to sell XRP in the United States, that they might be in some trouble. And so that's a business decision that they made to move forward. It doesn't mean that they hate or don't like XRP or this or that. It means that they're put into a position where they just got to look out for their accredited investors. And that's why I don't blame Grayscale for this. I blame the SEC, they're not protecting me. I mean, do you feel protected as an XRP holder? I sure as hell don't. So that's the only knowledge that we have as far as like the train of thought for why they flipped on this. But again, once this is all settled, and if in the end XRP ends up being declared to not be a security, then all of this is going to reverse. And I think if I had to guess, there would probably be a rush into XRP, and you can imagine what that might mean in terms of price action. So it's riskier. I always acknowledge and I'm going to keep saying this, it's not to scare people. It is riskier to hold XRP now. I just think that's a matter of fact, reasonable statement, but does nothing to shake me or change my conviction in terms of holding XRP. So I'm not purchasing anymore, but I am continuing to hold what I have. And if it doesn't go well, fine. I'm a big boy and I made my decision, but I'm optimistic for the future. And again, to end the video on a happy story, Japan's FSA says XRP not a security. So again, rest of the world says you're wrong, SEC. Top securities, actually I want to go through this piece. Here we go. This is from the Block Crypto. Japan's Financial Services Agency, or FSA for short, the country's securities regulator, has confirmed to the Block that it views XRP as a cryptocurrency and not as a security. The question has become relevant recently in light of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's allegation that by selling XRP, the firm engaged in sales of unregistered securities, and because just about 1 month ago, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse said that the firm might leave the U.S. in search of a more friendly regulatory environment. And here's a quote. FSA regards XRP as a cryptocurrency based on definitions of the Payment Services Act. And that's from the Japanese regulator. And it told the Block in an email Tuesday. FSA refrains from making comments about other authorities' response. So they're not going to comment on what the SEC in the United States is saying, but they clearly disagree with this. Now, the statement represents the first time the FSA has commented directly on the legal status of XRP. Last month, Nomura Research Institute published a report saying that, according to the Act, a widely accepted interpretation is that XRP is a crypto asset and not a security. Shortly after, citing that report, Ripple's investor and business partner SBI Holdings published a press release saying that XRP is not a security in Japan. It did not cite any direct comments from the FSA. So how about that, in lockstep? And for those of you that may have missed it, I reported on just a couple days ago from the Daily Hodl. UK Treasury says XRP is exchange token and not a security. So there you go. The UK also not in lockstep with the SEC. The SEC is the outlier on planet Earth, and they are wrong. And so that's why I stand firm on my position on this for so many reasons. And if I thought it was likely that XRP would end up being deemed a security and that Ripple's business plan falls apart, I would exit XRP. And I'm not saying that can't happen. That's why I just want to be a realist, and I don't say that to scare people either. I just don't think it's likely, so I'm taking that risk, and I'm optimistic for the future. But you can see here again, so the UK, it was their, what was the department called? HM Treasury report. There you go. Here's what they said. Here's a quote. Security tokens have characteristics akin to specified investments like a share or a debt instrument as set out in UK legislation. Broadly, these are likely to be tokenized digital forms of traditional securities. And moving a little bit further, there's a line I thought was in here. Maybe I was thinking of a different piece, though. But they did specifically ultimately cite that XRP, it's an exchange token. That's what they literally called it. In this document I reported on a couple days ago, I showed the exact document, the exact language they used. They say that XRP, it's an exchange token, and so it's in an unregulated category. That means they're not money nor security tokens. So there you go. And that was the second department in the UK that has declared such. Here's a piece from The Tokenist from July 24, 2020. UK Financial Conduct Authority does not consider XRP to be a security. So there's a separate entity within the UK, the Financial Conduct Authority, over half a year ago, also stated that XRP is an exchange token. Here's an actual quote from it. Tokens may have mixed features that may overlap with the above categories or change over time. For example, Ether can be used as a means of payment, exchange token on the Ethereum platform, and can also be used to run applications, utility token. XRP has similar features. And so it couldn't be more clear in the UK, it couldn't be more clear in Japan, and those are just a couple of countries. I'm not going through them all in this video. I didn't intend to make an exhaustive list. It's just this is what's been in the news of late. And so I wanted to highlight this. So SEC, I suspect that they just knew they were overcharging. It'll be interesting to see how this shakes out. I'm just hoping for a settlement of some kind, and then we can just put this all behind us here. But in the meantime, it's just interesting to see XRP again moving in lockstep with the rest of the crypto market, despite all of this scary news no longer affecting people. And you've got additional regulatory clarity in other parts of the world, which is great. That's a good thing here. So we're just going to have to sit tight and see what else happens. But that's it for this video. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.